Okay, ready to shine some light on a fascinating career.
Let's do it.
Today we're diving into the world of performance lighting technicians. You know those wizards behind the scenes who make concerts sparkle and plays come alive with light?
Yeah, it's a really cool blend of technical know-how and artistic vision. What's so interesting to me is it's not just about working the equipment, it's about using light to shape how the audience experiences the whole thing.
Right, like setting the mood. And I bet it's totally different for a rock concert versus, say, a Shakespearean tragedy.
Absolutely.
Speaking of which, the career guide we're looking at mentions optimal lighting quality. What does that even mean? It's more than just making things bright, right?
Yeah, you got it. Optimal lighting quality is about choosing the right lights, angles, colors, all of it working together to support what's happening on stage. For example, you might use a spotlight to single out a performer and make them the center of attention. Or you might use softer lighting to create a sense of mystery or intimacy.
I see. It's way more nuanced than I initially thought.
Yeah.
And from these RoleCatcher excerpts, it seems like technology is adding a whole new layer of complexity. LED systems, automated rigs. It's a lot more than just plugging in a few lamps these days.
It definitely is. The guide really stresses how important it is for lighting technicians to stay updated on the latest tech. This field is constantly changing, which means there's always something new to learn, and that keeps things interesting.
Exciting, but maybe a bit daunting too. I mean, the guide also mentions long hours, physically demanding work, often working evenings and weekends. Definitely not your typical 9 to 5.
True, it's a profession that demands dedication and the ability to adapt. You're on tight schedules, often under pressure, and you need to be resourceful when technical glitches inevitably happen. But for people who are passionate about live performance, those challenges are often part of what makes the job so rewarding.
There's that trade-off, right? Maybe not the best work-life balance, at least when you're first starting out, but the energy of those late nights probably makes it all worthwhile. And there's some good news for anyone considering this path. The job outlook looks quite positive. In fact, the guide suggests we might even see growth in this field in the coming years.
Definitely. As the entertainment industry keeps evolving and creating these more and more immersive experiences, the demand for skilled lighting professionals is only going to grow. And that translates into more opportunities for you to find your niche and build a career.
That is encouraging.
Yeah.
So how does one actually become a performance lighting technician? The guide breaks the career path down into different stages, from entry-level to senior technician. Is that right?
It does. And what's interesting is that while a formal degree isn't always required, hands-on experience is absolutely essential. The guide even recommends volunteering at local theaters or production companies to get your foot in the door.
That makes a lot of sense. You can learn the ropes, get a feel for the work, and see if this fast-paced environment is the right fit. Plus, you're surrounded by seasoned professionals.
Exactly. Think of it like an apprenticeship. Starting out, you'd be assisting more experienced technicians, learning how to use all the equipment, and gradually taking on more responsibility as you gain experience.
I like how you put that. So let's break these career stages outlined in the RoleCatcher resources down a bit more. Starting with the basics, what can someone just entering the field expect in terms of their day-to-day work?
Well, an entry-level performance lighting technician is mostly focused on assisting those more experienced technicians with setting up and prepping the lighting equipment for live shows. That involves a lot of hands-on tasks.
Like what? Give us the behind-the-scenes scoop. What are some specific things an entry-level technician might find themselves doing?
Well, you might find yourself doing routine checks and maintenance on the lighting instruments, just making sure that everything's in tip-top shape before it goes live. You'd probably be working with the road crew to unload and set up equipment too, so you'd get a real feel for the logistical side of things.
So you're saying it's not all glamour from the get-go?
Well, sometimes the magic happens behind the curtain, right? But it's all about getting that practical experience, really understanding the work and building a strong foundation. You might even get to operate some basic lighting equipment under supervision, of course.
Talk about a learning curve. And speaking of building a strong foundation, the guide provides a sample profile of an entry-level technician. What kind of skills and attributes do they highlight?
The profile mentions things like performing those routine checks we were talking about, making sure the lighting quality is top-notch even at that early stage, and of course being comfortable working closely with the road crew. It also emphasizes some really important soft skills.
Soft skills. Like what?
Things like a strong work ethic, meticulous attention to detail, and being able to follow instructions from senior team members.
Teamwork makes the dream work, right? Especially at a fast-paced live performance setting.
You got it. Live productions have so many moving parts, and there are always last-minute changes. Clear communication and collaboration are absolutely essential for things to run smoothly.
I bet. So you've learned the ropes, proven yourself a valuable team player. What's next? What's the next step up that career ladder? Let's talk about the junior performance lighting technician.
At this level, you've got more responsibilities, and you're expected to take on more independent tasks.
So less following instructions and more taking initiative.
Exactly. A junior performance lighting technician would be assisting in the design and implementation of lighting plans for performances. They'd be operating and maintaining a wider range of lighting equipment and collaborating with the production team to create those optimal lighting effects we talked about. They'd even be troubleshooting more complex technical issues with the equipment.
So it's like you're leveling up your skills and you're also getting to be more creative with your input. You're not just following the blueprint, you're actually helping to create it.
Exactly. At this stage, it's all about taking those technical skills you've honed and starting to flex your creative muscle for lighting design.
I can imagine that's pretty exciting.
It is. And the example profile for a junior performance lighting technician in the guide really highlights that.
What kind of things does it mention?
Well, it talks about having a strong technical foundation, of course, but also expertise in creating those captivating lighting effects that draw the audience in. It also emphasizes the ability to troubleshoot and solve any lighting-related issues that come up, and you know they will.
Right. Because in a live performance, the show must go on no matter what.
Exactly. And that takes someone who's resourceful, someone who can think on their feet. The profile also reiterates the importance of teamwork and communication since you're working so closely with the entire production team.
To make sure the lighting is perfectly in sync with the vision for the performance.
Exactly. At this point, they're becoming a lighting storyteller in their own right, going beyond the technical and using lighting to shape how the audience experiences the performance.
That reminds me of this concert I went to once. They had these incredible moving spotlights. It was like they were dancing with the performers.
That's a perfect example of how lighting can really take a performance to the next level. Speaking of which, that reminds me of intelligent lighting systems.
Oh yeah, the guide mentioned those. I wasn't quite sure what that meant. Is that what you're talking about, those moving spotlights?
Yes, sometimes called automated or moving lights. These systems have revolutionized live performance lighting. They give you really precise control over the light's movement, color, intensity, even the shape of the beam.
And it's all programmed and automated through a control console.
Precisely. It's like having a team of invisible stagehands working with absolute precision, and the creative possibilities are pretty much endless.
Wow. So instead of having people back there manually adjusting lights during the performance, it's all pre-programmed and happening seamlessly.
You got it. And this technology allows for much more dynamic and complex lighting effects than were ever possible before.
That's really incredible. It seems like technology in this field is constantly evolving.
It absolutely is. The guide really emphasizes how crucial it is to stay on top of those advancements if you're serious about this career path.
Yeah, because you need to be learning new software, understanding how to use the latest lighting systems. I imagine that keeps things interesting.
It does. It might involve attending workshops and training, maybe even getting industry certifications, and just staying current with those industry publications, all those online resources. There's always something new to learn.
You're telling me there's always something new to discover when it comes to lighting design.
There is. It's part of what makes this field so dynamic and rewarding. But let's move on to the top of the lighting design world. What does it mean to reach the very top of your game as a senior performance lighting technician?
Okay, bring on the big leagues. What's it like to be a senior performance lighting technician?
At this level, you're not just contributing to the design anymore, you're leading the charge. You're the lighting guru, working with directors and production teams to translate their creative vision into reality, using the power of light.
So they're basically given a concept, a mood, an idea, and they have to turn that into an actual lighting plan.
Yes. They design and oversee the lighting for major productions. We're talking about large-scale stuff with complex lighting setups.
That sounds like a lot of pressure. What kind of experience do you need to reach that level?
For starters, a deep understanding of lighting techniques, design principles, and the latest technology. The guide also talks about how important it is to be a good leader and mentor.
Because at that point, you're responsible for a whole team of lighting technicians.
That's right. The senior performance lighting technician often mentors and trains junior technicians, makes sure the quality of the work is top-notch, and shares the knowledge they've gained. They're basically lighting design leaders shaping the industry.
Okay, so let me get this straight. They have to be incredibly creative, technically skilled, but also amazing leaders and mentors.
You got it. They need to be great communicators, problem solvers, and have a deep understanding of just how collaborative live productions really are.
Wow. It sounds like it takes a special kind of person to be a senior performance lighting technician. You really don't hear much about them, but they play such a crucial role.
They really do. And as we mentioned before, this is a field that's constantly evolving. New technologies and techniques are always popping up.
So how do those senior lighting technicians stay ahead of the game?
The guide really emphasizes that continuous learning is essential in this fast-paced industry.
So it's not enough to reach the top of the ladder and just coast. They're always pushing themselves to learn and grow.
Absolutely. They might be experimenting with the latest and greatest lighting technologies, researching new design approaches, even collaborating with other pros to see how far they can push the boundaries.
That's amazing. So for anyone listening who's intrigued by this career path, what are some concrete steps they can take to get started? I know we talked about volunteering, but what else does the RoleCatcher Guide suggest?
It really emphasizes the importance of getting that hands-on experience, even if it means starting with volunteer positions or internships at local theaters, music venues, or production companies, basically anywhere that has live performances.
So just get your foot in the door and soak up as much experience as possible.
Exactly. And the guide also suggests taking the initiative to connect with people already working in the industry.
Networking.
Networking is huge. Attending industry events, reaching out to lighting designers you admire, maybe joining professional organizations. These are all great ways to build connections and learn from the best.
Because those connections can lead to mentorships, job leads, and valuable insight into how the industry really works.
You got it. It's all about building relationships and making those connections.
It's like that saying, it's not always what you know, but who you know. Although in this field, it seems like you need both.
You definitely do. And here's another tip from the guide. Build a strong portfolio. This is especially important if you're an aspiring lighting designer.
So you can showcase your best work. What kind of things go into a lighting design portfolio?
It's a good idea to include photos and videos of your work from past productions, and even some documentation of your design process so potential employers can see your artistic style, your technical abilities.
So it's like bringing those lighting designs to life, but on the page or on the screen.
That's a great way to put it.
Wow. This has been an incredible conversation. We've gone from basic definitions to real behind-the-scenes insights. And now I think we all have a better understanding of what it takes to thrive in this demanding but ultimately rewarding field.
It's been a pleasure exploring this with you. It's such a fascinating field, one that combines a lot of hard work and creativity.
Well said. So to everyone listening, we'll leave you with this. The next time you're at a live performance, whether it's a concert, a play, even a dance recital, take a moment to really appreciate the lighting. Look beyond the performers. Think about how the lighting affects the mood, how it guides your attention, how it really elevates the whole experience. You might just discover a whole new appreciation for the artistry of performance lighting technicians.
Yeah.
It's like that saying, it's not always what you know, it's who you know. Although in this field, it seems like you need both.
Absolutely. And here's another tip from the guide. Build a strong portfolio. This is especially important for aspiring lighting designers. Think of it as a visual representation of your skills, all your experience.
So you can show potential employers what you can do. What kind of things would you put in a lighting design portfolio?
It's a good idea to include photos and videos of your lighting designs from past productions, even some documentation of your process. This way, employers can really get a sense of your style and your technical skills.
It's like you're bringing those lighting designs to life on the page. Or should I say on the screen?
Exactly. It's your chance to really tell your story as a lighting designer.
This has been so eye-opening. We've gone from basic definitions to real behind-the-scenes insights. I think we all have a much better understanding now of what it takes to not just survive, but thrive in this really demanding but ultimately rewarding field.
It's been great exploring these RoleCatcher resources with you. This is a field with a lot of heart, a lot of hard work, and a whole lot of creativity.
Well said. So for everyone listening, we'll leave you with this. Next time you're at a live performance, it could be a concert, a play, even a dance recital. Take a moment to really appreciate the lighting. Look beyond the performers. Notice how the lighting affects the mood, how it directs your attention, how it really elevates the whole experience. You might just come away with a whole new appreciation for the incredible artistry of performance lighting technicians.